Hi everyone, this is Carolyn Speaks Instead of a World on Wednesday, February 16, 2022. So what is it? Good, bad, or indifferent? All three. Alright, what are some of the headlines here? Okay, major headlines. Ex-Honduran President Hernandez arrested on drug charges. However, the U.S. backed his narco state for 8 years and even approved of a coup that he participated in during the Obama years. Okay. What else? 45,000 people died from gun violence on your watch, Parkland. Survivors demand more action from President Biden. I agree. I think we should have more action, but we have people who are beholden to the gun lobby, and I don't know how to stop that. Ukrainian pacifists' message to the world. U.S., NATO, and Russia share responsibility to avoid war. I totally agree. Okay, what else is happening? NATO and the U.S. expressed doubt over Russian troop pullback as Putin Biden say diplomatic paths still open. That's good. Sandy Hook families reached historic $73 million deal with Remington, which is a gun maker, and they were able to use a something in Connecticut law that allows people to sue um, um, if they have reached some kind of crossed some kind of a line. Okay. The first time a gun maker has been held responsible for a mass shooting in the U.S. Uh, we had 20 kids and uh, 6 adults, educators, who were killed. Uh, so hopefully that'll change. We'll be able to prosecute more gun manufacturers. Anything has to do with the guns. Prince Andrew settled sexual assault lawsuit with survivor Virginia Giuffre. Good. I hope he is held accountable. And ex-Honduran President Juan Orlando Hernandez arrested for drug trafficking. We supported his regime though when he was there, and we supported his coup against his predecessor. UN says pollution causes more premature fatalities than the coronavirus. So what are we going to do about that? Have to end pollution. Have to end the stranglehold uh, that industry has on us. Pesticides, plastics, and electronic waste is causing at least 9 million premature fatalities, and the UN warns the crisis is being neglected. Uh, it's a product of racism, colonialism, classism, which means the majority of people who are dying because of pollution exposure to toxic substances are poor people, people of color living in low and middle income nations, and simply are below the radar screen for far too many people. That's very sad. Okay, now, U.S. coastal sea levels will rise another foot by mid century. That's a lot of water. So there goes Florida and Louisiana and New York. Coastal communities. Yes, New York is built, city is built below sea level. The subways flood in when there's a rainstorm. Okay. Climate change fueled mega drought in western U.S., the worst in 12 centuries. 12 centuries, that's 1,200 years. And there's a lot of causes for that. We have to solve this problem. Um, we need to go renewable energies. We need to end farming of cows and pigs and sheep because they create a lot of this pollution. We have to go plant based and save all the creatures. All right. Now, flooding and mudslides kill at least 34 people in Petropolis, Brazil. Uh, that's Brazil. There they have Bolsonaro as the president. He's not going to do anything, but he's up for election. Hopefully, he'll lost, and he'll get the virus. Will not survive. Okay. Israeli forces killed 2 Palestinian teenagers in the West Bank, and activists condemn U.S. delegation to Israel. The currency Israeli forces killed 2 Palestinian teenagers in recent days in the occupied West Bank, and um, there were also there was another fatality um, in a village near Ramallah, and a house raid and demolition in the city of Jenin. So that means people are trying to protect their homes from being demolished. The Israeli army comes in and shoots the protesters. Okay. And Nancy, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is leading a delegation to Israel of Congress members and enabling Israel's continued human rights and international law violations. So, why is this happening? I don't know. Why is Israel the sacred cow? No. Attacks in Mogadishu, which is in Somalia, kills at least 5 people. UN sounds the alarm on hunger crisis for Somali children. Senate confirms Robert Califf to head the FDA. Senate GOP delays confirmations for Fed nominees. So the commission of the FDA has been confirmed, but he was opposed by some Democrats over his work consulting for pharmaceutical companies and the opioid epidemic. Meanwhile, 10 Republicans boycotted the Banking Committee vote on 5 nominees to the Federal Reserve, including Fed Chair Jerome Powell, because they opposed Biden's pick for vice chair for bank supervision. Senator Sarah Bloom Raskin, who is married to Democratic Congressmember Jamie Raskin, and who has vowed to focus on how the climate crisis threatens the economy. Though Republicans say their opposition is linked to her work for the fintech firm Reserve Trust. Senate Banking Committee Chair Sherrod Brown blasted his Republican colleagues for stalling the vote. So let's have these Federal Reserve nominees voted on. Okay, now, what else was happening? January 6th committee issues subpoenas for false elector plot. White House orders handover of Trump visitor logs. Good. We'll find out who did what. Hopefully, we'll be able to find out who was responsible and helped the January 6th insurrection. Now, Russia withdraws some troops from Ukraine border, says it's open to more diplomacy. Well, we'll see. California will keep mask mandate for schools as universal mask mandate ends. Okay. Canadian Prime Minister invokes emergency powers as police say anti-vaccine protesters flooded violence. Thousands of nurses on strike as Australia suffers its first coronavirus surge. And civil society groups demand Moderna drop vaccine patent filings in South Africa. Well, Moderna, your vaccine against the virus was paid for by U.S. taxpayers, and you have the nerve to charge the U.S. for each dose of the vaccine, and now you're trying to do the same thing in South Africa. So you're going to create more of a problem. There should be no such thing as patents for health care. We should do away with them. Use the dry vaccine to help people. So one person has the virus, everyone can get the virus. So, Moderna, you're in the wrong. I hope you lose out. I hope the U.S. takes over your company and also the other pharmaceuticals. Uh, there should be no waiver on the vaccine patent rights. Uh, vaccines should be yours to help people, not to make money for others. Okay, so that's what we have. See, we have a mess here. All right. How about a little music to lighten the mood? All right. Let's sing. He can turn the tides and calm the angry sea. He alone decides who writes the symphony. He alone can hear the child's first prayer. He da 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 da. It's a very old song. I don't know who wrote it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Hope to be back again tomorrow for another Mina Carolyn Speaks State of Our World. Today is Wednesday, February 16th, 2022. And I hope you will wear a mask, practice social distancing, get the vaccine when it's available and safe for you to take it. And um, I had mine on May 27th. I'm due for a booster now. I'm looking around for that. But vaccines, when it's safe, you should get it. And take care of yourself and others. And remember, kindness goes a long way. Kindness goes a very long way. Thank you. Good night. Stay safe.